I spend most of my day on my computer, so finding the right desk has always been important to me. And after doing tons of research and even testing a few out myself, I found standing desks to be the most practical. So in this video, I'll be going over the 5 best standing desks. And if you find something you like, I'll leave links to all the standing desks in the description below. First up is the Vizebo standing desk, which I ranked as the most budget friendly. And when I first bought the Vizebo, I wanted a larger surface than what I had at the moment. And it's also a plus that, since it's a standing desk, I wouldn't have to be sitting so much while I work. Now the top of this desk was 55 by 26 inches, which was enough for me to place a laptop, a monitor, and a notepad on. Plus the steel frame can handle up to 178 pounds, and the height range on this thing can go from about 27 to 45 inches with 3 memory buttons. Now the assembly took some time since the platform comes in 4 sections, and the guide isn't the clearest, but it does go together. Now the top is a 2-piece splice, so looking at it from above, you can see the seam and the plates under that tie both halves together. Now this doesn't hurt stability, though people who want a 1-piece will notice it quite a lot, which I did. The legs are full of metal with good weight, and the desk stays pretty steady while typing, but the feet have hard plastic corners with no rubber pads, so I added stick-on pads to protect the floor and help it glide when I move it around. And if you plan to slide the desk, you will need to add pads one day. Now looking at the controls, it's pretty simple. You get up, down, 3 presets, and a reset. And mine took about 26 seconds to travel from the lowest to the highest setting. And the sound level was fine for a home office. And the anti-collision sensor worked too. When I blocked the travel with a box, the desk stopped and backed off a touch. Vizebo also includes a side hook and a cup holder that mounts under the front edge. Cable bits snap on under the back edge to route wires, and the front edge has a soft chamfer so wrists don't rub on a sharp corner. Overall, when I compare it to other picks, Vizebo is one of the lowest priced, and it's good enough for light desk work. Next up for a few extra dollars is the ER Gear standing desk, which I ranked as the best value. And this one is definitely an upgrade. The 40 by 24 inch top I used was a 1-piece bamboo, which looks cleaner and wipes down easy. Now the steel frame has aerospace grade connectors and columns, and the weight rating is about 176 pounds. Plus the height runs about 28 to 46 inches, which is an inch taller than the last one we looked at. And you also get 3 memory spots. Now the assembly was smoother than the Vizebo, and the kit included a cable tray, a fold-out cover, and side hooks. I ran the power bricks and slack into the tray and used the small clips to keep things clean. The legs attach to the feet with long bolts, but the rubber on the feet faces up under the legs, and the floor side is still hard plastic, so again I added pads under the feet to protect the surface. Now the control panel is where this desk easily beats the previous one. You get 6 buttons and a small display. I set the sit and stand heights, then lock the panel by holding 1 and 2. And you can also set a max or a min height, switch between inches and centimeters, and change collision sensitivity. Plus if you need a reset, just hold down the button longer, and it resets all the settings. It took a little over 45 seconds to go from the lowest to the highest position, which is slower than the others on this list, but for normal use, I say it's fine. The noise stayed low in the room, and stability at my typing height was good. Just a small mention though, I did get a small shipping dent on the front edge, which I covered with a desk pad and just moved on. Now compared to the Vizebo, if you have about $20 extra to spend, I'd say the ER Gear is worth it. Next up is the LiftSync Quad Pro, which I ranked as the most sturdy. And this thing is no joke. Mine came in 2 boxes, so I laid a blanket down and built it on the floor to avoid scratches. And being the most sturdy one on the list, it requires more than 2 hands, so if you can get help, then this will make it a lot easier. The legs and crossbars bolt together first, then the top goes on the frame. Plus the design hides the power brick and the cables under the frame, so from the front it looks clean. And I also added a few small cable stickers to tidy the last loose wires. And as you see, on the right side there's a control panel with a clear display. You get up, down, 3 presets, plus USB-A and USB-C for charging. LiftSync also includes a small remote with buttons for presets, home, and reset, which is pretty useful if you keep the panel tucked in. I saved 3 heights at about 30, 44, and 47 inches. and the desk moves to each one with just the tap. Now keep in mind, this desk is extremely big and very stable. With 4 legs and strong corners, wobble is very low even when set to the maximum height, and I had to push hard just to make my monitor shake. And the only issue I had with this was that the old clamp on my monitor arm and mic arm didn't fit since the top is too thick, so I had to get one of those desktop mic stands instead. This thing right here. And I also end up using a riser for my monitor, which is honestly a good thing if you want a solid slab. Now for capacity, the listing on my unit was about 264 pounds, which is well above the previous ones. I even laid on top of it to test it out, and from the lowest to the highest height, it took around 16 seconds with me on it, and about 15 seconds without me. And as for going down, this was around 14 to 16 seconds when I tried it. Now the movement stayed smooth, and the sound was fine for a home office. Compared to the previous two, this one felt like real furniture. It's thicker, heavier, and sturdier across the whole range. Plus it carries more weight and shakes less near the top. The flip side is the size and build effort. It takes up more room, it weighs more, and the setup is not a quick one-person job. But if you want the most solid standing desk on this list and you're okay with the weight and the footprint, then the Quad Pro is going to be the right fit. Next up is the FlexiSpot E7 Plus, which I ranked as the best weight capacity. And based on my research, this one stands out here. It uses 4 legs and 3-stage columns, so the range is wide, from about 26 to 51 inches. And this desk claims a 440 lifting weight capacity and a speed of around 1 inch per second. It also has collision avoidance and a keypad with 4 presets and a USB charging port. Now the E7 Plus arrives in 3 boxes and is harder to assemble than a 2-leg frame. The twin motor layout uses hex rods that linked each side, and you need 4 sizes of Allen keys during the build. Also, the tops ship without pre-hole drills, so that's something you need to look out for as well. Now apart from the assembly and online reviews, the desk held up pretty well at normal heights and kept a glass of water calm while moving. As the desk nears the top of its reach, small movements show up sooner than on the lift sync, which makes sense since the FlexiSpot frame uses lighter parts overall. Speed stayed near 1 inch per second with typical loads and slowed down somewhat as weight approached the rated lift. What I like here is the balance of price and strength. It costs far less than most 4-legged furniture builds, yet it supports a full studio setup with dual monitors, a tower, and audio gear. The keypad also lets you store 4 heights, which is nice if you share a desk with family. Against the 3 earlier desks, the E7 Plus should carry the heaviest daily load and go the tallest. It'll also take more time to assemble than Vizibo or ER gear, and it won't feel as planted as the lift sync at the top of travel, but the raw capacity alone makes it stand out. Finally, at number 1 is the Branch Duo, which I ranked as the best with drawers. From what I read, it's the best choice if you want a compact desk with storage. It comes in 3 sizes, 36 by 24, 48 by 24, and 58 by 27. Plus you can add a matching drawer and cable organizer that mounts cleanly under the top. The lift range is about 28 to 47.3 inches, the speed is around 1.3 inches per second, and it can handle weights up to 275 pounds. It meets BIFMA standards, and the frame has a 10-year warranty. Under the top, the frame is also open to give you more legroom. It's also easier to assemble compared to something like the FlexiSpot. The top uses threaded inserts so the screws bite metal, not wood, which helps you move and rebuild. It also comes with a control paddle that is simple to use. You can just push it up or down to move it, and if you double tap, it jumps to the sit or stand preset. And for security, you can also just lock the paddle so kids can't change it. This desk even comes with stand reminders, which you can set on a schedule. You can also set a low and high stop so the desk doesn't hit a shelf or a window ledge. Plus, collision detection is also built in as well. At normal heights with a laptop and a single monitor, stability looks fine. But around 42 inches and up, you can see more movement from front to back compared to the FlexiSpot E7 Plus and the 4-legged lift sync. So if you plan heavy dual arms, those other 2 make more sense. Compared to Vizibo and ER gear, the Duo wins on the paddle, the reminders, and the optional drawer. It also fits small rooms better, and compared to the FlexiSpot and the lift sync, it's easier to live with in a bedroom or a shared space, but it's not built for big loads at tall heights. Overall, if you want a clean look, a tight footprint, and most importantly, a drawer, the Duo checks those boxes. And that's all for today. I hope this list helped you choose the perfect standing desk. And if you find something you like, don't forget to check the description to find the links of all the standing desks mentioned in this video. Thanks for watching.